our last part for this week is vertical circular motion. And we all know, we all have experience with this, because I'm assuming that most of us at some time have picked up a bucket full of water and have swung it around. And you would know that if we did that slowly, when it reached over our heads, the water would fall out. But if we do it fast enough, the water stays in. And we're not going to deal with, the semi-magical appearing reasons why the water stays in the bucket. Sufficient to say that just like our system of the car going around the circle, we have to remember this happens in 3 dimensions. Just because we don't show it on a diagram doesn't mean that we forget about it. So while the bucket is swinging, and only while the bucket is swinging, while the bucket is moving in the circle, the bucket and the water act together as a single thing. The water itself is moving in the circle, is moving sideways. Okay? So it's going to stay in the bucket. It's part of the bucket water system. It will only fall out if it's not moving fast enough. And so bucket water problems are often concerned with minimum speed. What's the minimum speed we need to apply to keep the water in the bucket? And to imagine that, to solve that, we're looking for a value of V that gives us the minimum value of F needed. Now it turns out that the minimum value of F needed is equal to the weight force of the water bucket system. Okay, so we know that there's other forces acting. There's obviously, we would see if we resolved it at the bottom, we know we have a response force acting up from the bottom of the bucket into the water. But if we are looking for the minimum speed needed, it turns out that the minimum speed required to keep the water in the bucket, not on your head, is when the centripetal force equals the weight force of the water bucket system. So we're going to solve some problems with that, so don't worry about it too much. And of course, you're always welcome to get a bucket out and try it yourself at home. It's pretty hot weather here at the moment, so go for it. Now, the other type of problem that you get when it comes to vertical circular motion are often roller coaster problems, because roller coasters are essentially a water bucket system, but instead of water, it's people. Instead of buckets, it's a hurtling contraption of death. So it's the same sort of problem, and we're often interested in the minimum speed that a roller coaster has to have to make it around the loop. And this, obviously, as you can imagine, is a really practical problem that actual people face. So, because gravitational potential energy and kinetic energy are exchanged as the roller coaster goes around the loop, quite often the problems we face in this section are to do with how much kinetic energy do I need at the bottom, so that when I get to the top and I've exchanged some of that kinetic energy for gravitational potential energy, how much kinetic energy do I need left over to supply the velocity, to supply the centripetal force? So this sort of problem is a conservation of energy problem wrapped up in a circular motion enclosure. We're looking at an exchange of energy. So first we work out how much gravitational potential energy it's going to have at the top. We then work out how fast it needs to be going, and we work out what that kinetic energy is, and that tells us how much kinetic energy it has to have at the bottom. And as you may have seen on various YouTube clips, being able to do this on a small scale is endlessly fascinating. How do you think those people who make, loop-the-loop water slides, how do you think they work out how big the loop needs to be? How do you think they work out how high you need to stand? I mean, I may have my suspicions that some of them just do it by trial and error, but some of them are probably physicists at heart, and they do this sort of calculation to make something that works. So yes, vertical circular motion, buckets of water, and people in death contraptions. We're going to be talking about minimum speeds and conservation of energy.